My name is Jennifer Crowl. I'm currently the president of the Junior League of London. I have been in the league since 2002 when I joined in New York. I then transferred to the London League when I moved over to the UK in 2003. My past leadership positions have included Holiday Hampers co-chair, community research director, Boutique de Noël vice chair and chair, fund development vice president, placement advisor, membership vice president, and now currently president. Get involved. That's all it takes. If you are willing to do something, the league has plenty of opportunities for you. And I know that there's a lot of members that come into the organization and think, oh, this will be great. I'll be a volunteer here and then I can go serve on a charity board somewhere else. And I always find that kind of surprising to me because we are in fact a charity with a board. So I always wonder why members don't quite think about serving on our board. And I can say too that if you look at who has sat on our board of trustees, particularly around what some of our presidents have done, they've all gone on to serve on other boards. We have very few examples though where members have come in as volunteers and then gone to another charity directly from being a member on a committee. That's not to say that that experience is not valuable, that they have, but we do know that membership in the Junior League, especially when you contribute at a leadership level, is what is really interesting to other charities and what will help make our volunteers truly the trained volunteers that we talk about when we think about our mission. When I joined the league in New York, it was not an aspiration that I had at all, whether I was to do that in New York or to do that in London. But I do think one of the great things that the league can give you is opportunities. If you're willing to roll up your sleeves, get involved, and do something, you can. And there are certainly great development opportunities that you can take. The first committee that I ever actually sat on, because I'd just done my new member program in New York, was Holiday Hampers. I got placed onto the committee, but then the co-chairs moved back to the US and they were doing a call for, does anybody want to, chair it? And I said, well, it's the first time I'm on a committee, so I could do it probably with somebody else if you think that's okay, and kind of never looked back since. So when I joined, I had no fundraising experience, but I learned that there, and that was great. And then whether it's participating in lead trainings or I've been fortunate enough to go to some Association of Junior League conferences, the Organizational Development Institute, and then other conferences that I've attended as president. That's also been really helpful in terms of development. I think it's really important for the president to be able to look at things from a variety of different perspectives. And the board meetings that I'm leading now, which is kind of basically leading another committee, but the role that I play in that is much different from the roles that I've had earlier when I've been leading a council or leading a committee. It's much more facilitative. It's much more about kind of growing and gathering consensus, ensuring that all the views are on the table, all of that. And it's also about thinking about not just what is good for the league, good for members at this exact moment, but what is the bigger picture? Where are we going in the longer term? Again, I would say get involved. Whether that is starting by coming to general meetings to become more informed, participating in your committee level at the at the most that you have to give. And I do think that the league is very good at recognizing we're all busy. We have a lot of priorities in our lives, and Junior League is not always top on the list. But if you have a certain amount of time that you can dedicate with some flexibility to understand and appreciate that community partners, you probably need to contact them during the day, potential sponsors during the day, that kind of thing. Member involvement or engagement might be a little bit more in off hours or at the weekends, that's okay. But with a willingness to contribute, you can certainly, we always seem to have plenty of opportunities for people that are interested in doing something more and developing themselves and helping to lead the organization. And I think, I certainly know actually when we do our member surveys, the women that have served as leaders, no matter what they've done it in, are our most engaged members and are the ones that do get the most out of their membership. So that's the other thing too that I would encourage everybody who's in the organization, if you really want to gain the most out of it, think about being a leader in the organization. And that doesn't mean you need to be president. That doesn't mean you need to sit on the board. That means you can do things at a whole variety of levels, which I think is great. Another thing that people could do around thinking about what they want to do in the future is when they are, whether it's at a general meeting or at their committee meeting or at a fundraising event, whatever it is, it's talk to other members and hear about what they're doing and learn about their experiences. Because I think sometimes you don't even realize kind of what your opportunities might be, but you might hear somebody talk about, the experience that they're having. And don't be afraid to pick up the phone and call a committee chair about a committee that you're thinking about sitting on next year, or one that you're interested in trying to lead, or talk to your council vice president or whoever to say, tell me more about this job and what works about it for you and what you've learned and all of that kind of thing. I think that's important, and people can learn so much from fellow members in that way.